It's just stunning to think that the media is still, even in light of this debate, now going to take these numbers and act like Joe Biden's doing something at the border. NBC News says that there's actually several officials that DHS identified more than 400 migrants brought to the U.S. by an ISIS affiliate smuggling network. Remember that story broke, and Mayorkas also gaslight and said no. This is what he said in Tucson.
That reporting is incorrect. We do not have identified 400 people with potential ISIS ties. Individuals who are identified to have those ties would pose a concern to us from a public safety and a security perspective, and they would be priorities for detention and removal.
That was a lie. The next day it was corrected by DHS. So they're all lying. It's all a shell game here. Colonel Allen West, I mean, the national security problem goes all the way to the top now. Joe Biden is a national security threat, in my opinion. How about you?
No, you're absolutely right, and it's good to be with you. You know, I live down here in Texas. I've been down to the border several times, and we're still reeling from the Jocelyn Nungare incident where two illegal immigrants sexually assaulted her for 2 hours and left her for dead. But you look at these numbers, and they're not accurate numbers in that they're not including the numbers of the gotaways, the people that we have no idea who they are or where they are. You talk about the 400 members that were part of the ISIS smuggling. Remember, we just recently had 8 Tajikistan individuals that were tied to ISIS who were found in New York, Philadelphia, and Los Angeles. And that follows on the heels of the 3 Syrian illegal immigrants who were trying to take a truck onto a Marine Corps base Quantico. So not only do we have a terrorist trafficking issue on top of the human and sex trafficking issue, we have a drug trafficking issue, and they are underreporting these numbers to include not reporting to us how many people have been flown into the United States of America on these Biden Freedom flights.
Right, and exactly, and undocumented children. And then there's the issue, as you said, about, you know, how it's been incentivized by cartels. You know, Emanuele, if we take even a wider view out, we look at our adversaries who are looking at ways that they can hurt us. China, for one. We have to worry, is Joe Biden compromised, you know, when it comes to China? There are these new satellite images of Cuba showing the country is improving its intelligence capabilities. There's obviously these links to China at 4 military bases in Cuba. These images that folks are looking at here from a report for the Center for Strategic and International Studies taken in March and April. How concerned are you that this is just off the coast of Florida, not too far away, these capabilities to listen into Cape Canaveral, to listen into our national security? It's alarming, and it doesn't seem like anyone in this administration even cares to address it, Emanuele.
It's very concerning. And again, what you're seeing is that we have at least 4 countries in the south of the U.S.-Mexico border, namely Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Bolivia, that are aligned against the United States. And as opposed to during the Cold War, where you had enemies that were proxies of just the Soviet Union, today you have these 4 countries who are acting as proxies of pretty much every single adversary the United States has on the global stage. You know, you're mentioning the information just released about China's presence in Cuba. We know that Iran has a presence, a strong presence in Venezuela. The Russians have deployed their mercenaries there. Nicaragua, Venezuela, and Cuba are cooperating to, you know, put additional pressure on the border by ferrying immigrants through an air bridge that basically avoids the Darien Gap and the more difficult terrain in Central America and pump immigrants up towards the U.S.-Mexico border. So we have a combined alliance of an axis of authoritarians acting as proxies for our enemies. Alarming. And we need more forceful response to this threat.
Yeah. I wish we had more time. I'd like to have you both back to discuss that. We know that Christopher Wray has talked about Hezbollah within the United States, but as we came on, you saw the mainstream media. None of that is being discussed here, and it needs to be much more highlighted. Appreciate you both. Please come back soon. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West, Emanuele Ottolenghi. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate your thoughtful comments today.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank you.